Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina with another episode of our Sunday night live stream show. That's right, it's Sunday night, y'all, and it is October 24th at 8:31 p.m. We're a minute late, but appreciate y'all hanging out and tuning in to our Sunday night live stream show. Got a great show lined up for you guys. We're going to be talking all about what's going on inshore, nearshore, and offshore. Talk about what's coming up, what we're seeing now, and answering your questions live. Plus, as always, giving away free fishing trips. So, got a great show lined up for you. Don't forget to like the video. If you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to like it. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're watching on Instagram, double tap. If you're watching anywhere, make sure you subscribe or like our page or channel. We'd appreciate it. And if you're watching on Facebook, really appreciate those stars that are coming through. I've seen a bunch of them while we're getting the show set up. Appreciate you guys watching on Facebook. Sending stars, great way to show your support and make it possible for us to do more of these live events and live stream shows. Want to give a big shout out to our supporters group. Richard Blasak and Sean Porchke and everybody else. Adam Franklin, sending stars, thank you. Paul Carteau, and appreciate all you guys sending stars. But I want to give a shout out to our supporters group. If you haven't heard about it, the supporters group is on YouTube and Facebook, and it's kind of a behind the scenes way to stay a little bit more in better contact with us. Our regulars club is one way. Where you get discounts on the trips. If you go fishing a lot, it makes it more affordable to go fishing more often at a more affordable price. The supporters group is a little different. It's just kind of a behind the scenes thing on social media, Facebook and YouTube. And we've been posting a lot to our Facebook supporters group, kind of catches from the trips, doing a lot of live streams on my way home and my way to and from meetings and radio show and stuff, and just keeping the supporters up to speed on what's going on. A little bit of behind the scenes info. Plus, the supporters are a great way to show your support and also make it possible again for us to do more cool stuff. So appreciate all the supporters and helping make this all possible, and appreciate you guys and gals. So glad you're watching the show tonight. We got a great show lined up. We got some photos to show you here shortly of what we're catching inshore, nearshore, and offshore, and some videos and some weather and red tide discussions, live bait, and then we're going to get into your questions later on in the show. If you do have a question, you got to text us at that phone number right down there below my drink. Text us at that phone number to have your question answered live in the second half of the show. If you don't text us, we don't see your question, and you will not get it answered live during the show because the comments, they appear and disappear too quickly. So you got to text in the question if you want it answered live during the show. With that, we're going to get into the photos now and show you guys what we've been catching inshore, nearshore, and offshore. And as always, we're going to start with those inshore photos. Been seeing a lot of those Jack Crevalle, some big jacks, some small jacks, and everything in between. And definitely been seeing quite a few of those mixed in with these mackerel around local bait schools. We've also been seeing the mangrove snapper inshore still too. It's later in the year. Typically these mangrove snappers start making their way near shore this time of year as the water temperature is cool, but a lot of mangrove snappers still. Water's still pretty warm. Haven't had that first big cold front yet, but it is coming very soon. And now we're seeing still a lot of these redfish. The redfish bite has slowed a little bit, but we're still catching quite a few of them around our mangrove shorelines, oyster bars, grass flats, little cuts, potholes, even sandy areas around our docks, piers, bridges, jetties. Our friends over at Salt Strong have been catching a ton of these with those soft plastics, and also seeing some pretty decent snook action. Still some snook around our passes and on the beaches, but a lot of snook moving back into the bays around the grass flats, islands, mangrove shorelines. So really good mangrove snapper, mackerel, jack crevalle action, and decent redfish action with a lot of these juvenile snook very active. Trout bite's been a little slow overall, but you can find pockets of good trout action. Bigger trout are harder to find right now, but as that water temperature continues to dip, we should see more and more of these great eating and fun to catch trout. And now trout, redfish, and snook are open to harvest as long as their season is open. So that's really good to see the trout, redfish, and snook reopen. But some people are not so happy about the trout, saying that the trout are still a little bit slower compared to the snook and redfish, saying that the snook and redfish rebounded faster than the trout. So something we talked about this past weekend on Saturday during our Real Animals radio show. So if you missed it, you can always rewatch it, where we talked about trout, redfish, and snook more in depth. The Real Animals radio show is every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., and it streams live right here on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook and the Real Animals Facebook stream too. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. It's a lot of fun. We're going to get into those near shore and offshore fishing photos now. Show you guys what we've been seeing near shore and offshore. Here's a nice gag grouper from a Hub private charter recently. Did real well on the Hub as of late, catching some nice mangrove snapper, some nice hogfish occasionally, scamp groupers, some nice gags, and also some kingfish and mackerel. Here's a nice big scamp grouper from our 39-hour trips. We've been seeing a lot of these scamp grouper even near shore, around 70 to 100 foot of water, but offshore and deeper waters, we're seeing these bigger scamp. And how about this massive gag grouper from the 44-hour full moon? Just a beautiful, beautiful fish. This one is one for the record books for sure. Pushing closer. I think it was north of 35 pounds. I want to say it was like 37 is what I remember kind of overhearing this morning, but I wasn't around for the weigh-in and didn't get the final weight on it. But it was definitely over 30 and under 40, and I think it was a little higher than 35, but I'm not sure. But a beautiful rusty belly male gag grouper regardless of the weight. Just a crazy, crazy fish. And this is Nick Southall, one of our anglers that used to fish with us quite a bit. Hasn't been out in a while. Came out on this 44-hour full moon with his son. Ended up pulling up this nice big gag grouper on a butterfly porgy. Big old dead bait. Caught himself a nice big gag. Another big gag grouper from the 44-hour full moon trip. Did well on the red snapper too. Bunch of nice red snapper on that 44-hour trip. Here's a nice scamp. And then the Wahoo from Eric Deskins. We're going to hear from Eric here shortly. We've got a little video where Eric talks more about catching this Wahoo, so I'm not going to ruin that. I'll let him speak to that fish. Catching a few amberjack here and there still. Not really targeting them. Haven't really seen a ton of those amberjack, but they're definitely still around. And big gags, big red snapper, steady mangrove snapper bite, a couple yellowtails, a good scamp grouper bite. That's kind of been the story. And then the nice pelagics were kind of the surprise on this recent 44-hour trip. This is a near-shore mangrove snapper from the Hub. And blackfin tuna as well. Been seeing some nice blackfin tuna out there in deep water. Here's another solid gag from a recent 39-hour trip. Another solid gag from a 12-hour extreme trip. Willie Solowski, appreciate those stars, buddy. Appreciate everybody. Adam Franklin, thanks, man, for watching. And now, Josh, it's time for that video from Eric Deskins. If you want to kick on the sound for our friends at home, we're going to play this video full screen. Eric talks about that 44-hour for about 3 minutes or so, guys. So enjoy the video. Going to talk about some cool stuff in that 44. So I heard you guys had a good 44-hour trip, huh?
Yeah, it was awesome.
And you caught something special, I heard.
Yeah, I got my first ever Wahoo.
First ever? This was the first time you caught a big Wahoo,
yes,
huh?
Sir.
Well, you've been trolling definitely a while and learning some techniques. What'd you use to catch them?
I was using a DTX minnow, a 40-foot diver, the redhead white body.
Redhead white body Nomad DTX. All right, and then what's your preferred trolling setup?
I use a Penn International 50 wide 2-speed and an 80 wide 2-speed. If somebody lets me use one side of the boat, I try to have one on each end. And I generally use no wire, just straight tied to the lure. And,
so 80-pound test straight to the lure?
80-pound test straight to the lure, and hope for the best.
Well, cool, man. So this was caught on the ride out in between spots?
In between spots. We were in about 200 foot of water and just jumping from spot to spot. The captain said we were going to make about a 3.5-mile run.
And you walked back there, set out the rod. Was it on the corner, on the side?
I had it on the far left corner, port corner. And I had one on the other corner running a Yerzuri Bonita. It had gotten smoked earlier that day and I missed it on the Bonita.
Nice.
And then I had both of them out and the DTX hit.
So was anybody else trolling at the time?
Yeah, there was about 5 trolling rods out at that time.
So not many people trolling on this trip?
Not many. There was a lot on the way out. Everybody gets ambitious and tries to troll on the way out. And everybody gets tired through the trip.
Okay, so during the trip between spots, people are tired, they're trying to take a break, rig rods, and that's when you took advantage of the open room, put out another trolling rod, and ended up whacking this Wahoo.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So any tip or trick you could offer to someone coming out here trying to troll?
Pay attention to what others are doing. It took me a while to learn. I didn't want to mess anybody else up from doing it because I didn't know anything about it. I've started to get the hang of it really well watching professionals like Jighead Ed and stuff. I learned over the years.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Jighead Ed. I tried to follow what he did because he was the man at trolling.
Yeah.
So I tried to mimic what I saw him doing, and it seems like it's working out.
That's awesome, man. What about as far as like drag settings? I know a lot of people hook into these Wahoos sometimes and then end up losing them. So how far back did you put it? What's your drag like?
Probably about 100 yards back. I had the drag set pretty easily. So, I mean, I had it stiff enough so when it grabbed, you'd know it, but not enough to where it ripped the hook out of his mouth. I'm not exactly sure about percentage-wise, but I mean, I had it set just enough to where I could pull line out. And then when it hit, I just gave it a little bit more tension on it, and then slow and steady. John's got a video of it. I just slowly kept it. I could feel the weight on the line, so I knew he was still there. He wasn't running at me or running away. He was just kind of cruising. So
and if he runs at you, what do you got to do?
Keep it at 2-speed and keep reeling.
Yeah,
Try
keep
to
that
keep
pressure
tension line on the line. That was my main thing. I didn't give it too much or too little. Just kept steady pressure on it.
There you go. Well, cool, man. I appreciate it, Eric. That's pretty awesome. Did you get anything on the bottom?
Yeah, I got a big gag. I got 4 big red snappers and a bunch of heads and tails.
That's awesome. I heard they caught a sailfish on this trip, too.
Yes, they did. Right awesome. On the side of the boat I was fishing on. I got to see it all. He jumped a few times. It was really cool.
That's cool, man. Thanks, Eric.
Love the rental rods.
Well, you heard it. A lot more about that beautiful Wahoo that Eric caught, and a little bit more about this beautiful sailfish that was caught and released on the 44-hour full moon trip. What a surprise. And to kind of spice things up a little bit more, we've got the actual video of that sailfish being caught. So let's show you that real quick here. And it is very cool to see this video live. It does not have sound to it because we were a little excited catching a big old sailfish at the end of the day. So no sound to this video because the comments were a little colorful. But basically, he was dropping down a live pinfish, very bitter end of the trip. Everybody's wrapping up their stuff, getting ready to go home. And look at that bill coming out of the water. And everybody's getting ready to break down, so they're taking their rods up, they're packing their tackle boxes up, people are starting to shower, and this excited angler drops down a live pinfish on his rental rod, and as he's dropping down, someone else notices a sailfish jumping, and sure enough, a sailfish had grabbed his live pinfish on the way to bottom and ended up eating it and running off with the pinfish. So he was confused as to what was going on because he wasn't hitting bottom. Line started ripping out of his reel, and then all of a sudden put it in gear and started cranking down, and he was hooked up to this beautiful, beautiful trophy catch. Awesome sailfish. This is about as big as you see here in the Gulf of Mexico. We don't get big sailfish like this too often in our coast. And luckily, it was nice and green coming up to the boat. We caught it with some decent speed. So because it was caught on a nice setup and came to the boat green, we were able to release it quickly and release it alive. When they come to the boat after they've been fought for a long time, like if it gets wrapped up or if we're trolling and it takes a while to get to the boat, sometimes they come up pretty well beat up and almost on their last leg, and they're not able to be released. In this case, he swam off healthy and strong and came up green, so we were able to release him alive with just breaking off at the fish. So great story, great catch, beautiful photo, and we were definitely very excited about that beautiful fish. What a catch, what a trophy, and something that we were very excited about, to say the least. So with that, it is time to give away our first free trip of the night. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the weather and what's going on with the red tide, and then we'll get into your questions. So first things first, we'll give away the first free trip of the night. We're going to give away a 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. 10-hour all-day for 2 guests coming at you. Let's see who won that 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. That's a $218 value to Michael Sewell from Riverview, Florida. Riverview, Florida is what I believe you tried to type. Congratulations, Michael Sewell. Make sure if you're picked as one of those lucky winners, you got to shoot us a text message there to that phone number in the bottom corner with your full home address to claim that free trip within about 5 minutes to prove you were watching live. So make sure, Michael, you shoot us a text message quickly and claim that free trip. So with that, let's get back into the photos and show you a little bit about what's going on with this weather and current situation with the red tide. So red tide situation is actually looking good right now. For the first time in a while, we've had a little stretch of reprieve from this red tide, and I'm hoping and praying this cold front that's coming will continue to help us break up and kill off this red tide bloom that we've kind of had been sitting off our coast. But time will tell what happens. But as you see here in the forecast, as far as what's coming up for that red tide, you can see in our area it's looking clear. All the way left is that top water forecast, middle is that lower water forecast, and on the right is kind of coastal red tide presence. So we are clear in Johns Pass as of now, and we're hoping and praying that continues to stay the same. We've actually been able to catch and keep pinfish alive and been sending pinfish out on our trips too. So very excited about that red tide current situation, and just hoping and praying it remains the same or gets better. Dan Netto, appreciate those 1,000 stars on Facebook, buddy. Thank you very much. With that, let's show you what's going on with the weather. The weather coming up, we definitely are seeing a decent trend as far as weather is concerned today. You can see that occluded front is moved past us. We still got a lot of rain potential in the upper atmosphere. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on today so you can see that. A lot of rain potential, but that occluded front is moving past us. High pressure trying to set in. This is tomorrow. Again, that occluded front's kind of sitting in our area. High pressure's trying to set up, but they're kind of fighting. That creates a pressure gradient. Very, very difficult to forecast. Similar to today, we weren't really expecting rain, and then all of a sudden, there was a lot of rain. So this creates a situation where it's very difficult to forecast the weather. So one of those things where you check it as it comes. And then this is for Tuesday. You can see a low pressure is trying to push down into our area Tuesday, but it does not make it. It does not make it into our area. It's a little bit of a weak front. It kind of peters out right here, just north of our area. So that cold front does not make it Tuesday. Basically, a front tries to make it down Tuesday, Wednesday, but breaks up and is more of an occluded front. And then the big front is coming Friday with a lot of prefrontal activity ahead of it. That's what we're seeing now, and you'll see that on this prog chart. Basically, monster front is coming through Friday. So this over here is Wednesday. Again, that front that was trying to push into our area Tuesday becomes an occluded front, breaks down, doesn't really bring us anything. This is Thursday. You can see that strong front setting up, stretching all the way across the Gulf. And then this is Friday. That big front stretches out and pushes through our area. And then this is Saturday. Front's moving by, high pressure setting up behind it. This is Saturday. Look at that monster high pressure. Sunday, monster high pressure setting up behind it. So basically, big fronts coming through Friday with high pressure building behind it. Should be a really cool weekend with drier conditions. Weather should be calming down Sunday and getting kind of nicer again by Monday. And you'll see that here with the wind forecasts. In that upper bar, you can see the graphs. The wind is calming, or pretty much calm and moderate through today, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday is super nice. Right before that prefrontal activity Thursday, and then Friday, that big front comes in, that north wind sets up. Saturday, it's pretty nasty behind that front. Sunday, it starts to calm down. Monday is nicer. Tuesday is kind of moderate as that high pressure settles in. So that's what we're looking at. As far as weather, or as far as moon phase is concerned, we're expecting that third quarter moon phase October 28th. That new moon is November 4th. So we're on the back side of that full moon. Moon is still 86% full, so we still got a lot of nighttime feeding action. When the moon is up during the day, it's good fishing. As far as rain forecasts, you can see here that occluded front moving by is still making that rain chance a little bit elevated through the day tomorrow. Tuesday, Wednesday is beautiful. If you want to get out in the water, Tuesday, Wednesday is the days to do it. Thursday, we get that prefrontal activity. Wind's going to pick up. It's going to get nasty. Friday, Saturday, going to be blowing. The weather does not cool off in the state of Florida unless the wind blows. So you can see right there, Wednesday to Thursday, cools down. Does not cool down unless the wind blows. Cools down again Friday, wind still blowing. Cools down again Saturday, guess what? Wind is still blowing. So keep that in mind. That's what we're looking at. Tuesday and Wednesday are the days to get out in the water if you can. If you can get out in the water, Tuesday and Wednesday are the days to do it. And then if you can't, wait until Sunday. It's going to be calming down. Really, Monday, Tuesday is going to be, really Monday looks like the second best opportunity to get out there on the water. So that is all we have to talk about, weather and fishing wise. Now it is time for your questions. So hopefully you have some questions for us. If you do have questions, remember you have to text them to that phone number right there below my drink. So make sure if you have a question, hopefully you've texted it in. I forgot to set up my iPad tonight, Josh. I know there's events we got to talk about too. Man, I'm slacking, dude.
Well, it's because we were talking earlier, I think.
Yeah, we did have a really good conversation. That's why we were a minute late. Josh
Blame
and I were
Josh.
joking around and talking about all the cool stuff we have coming up.
Lots of cool things, actually.
So, big events that are coming up. We've got the Tuesday, October 26th. That's this Tuesday. Mike Anderson has his virtual real animals fishing conversation with Captain Keith Benson. I've been saying, I think, Scott Benton this whole time or something like that, and I was off. I was wrong. It's Keith Benson. Captain Keith Benson is Captain Mike's guest. That's this coming Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. on the Real Animals Facebook page. Make sure you tune in for that. Then Saturday, November 6th, we've got the return of the Bass Pro Shops fishing conversation. So Saturday, November 6th, I will be live in person at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops at 2 p.m. I really need everybody to show up over there at 2 p.m. Saturday, November 6th. They've got a new general manager at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops, and he started there during COVID, so he doesn't know what a Hubbard's Marina seminar looks like. So hoping to put my best foot forward and show him that Hubbard's Marina doesn't play no games when we hold these fishing conversations. So
I don't know if that's going to be a good idea. I mean, do we want to blow his mind so early?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You heard it,
Razzle
folks.
dazzle, Josh.
You know what? Josh
It's all
is going to be
sprinkles
there.
and fairies over here, man.
Josh will be there live.
Oh. Is that a guarantee?
I guarantee. Come pick me up. We'll go.
Ooh.
I'll go.
Josh is coming. You will meet
hang
the
out.
man behind the video. The
man
voice
behind the
you've
curtain.
always wondered about.
I'm not signing an autograph or anything. $20 if you guys.
$20 is $20.
I'm joking, of course.
Thursday, November 11th. We've got our CCA Pinella's banquet. Hopefully you can make it out for that. There's going to be tons of great food. There's an open bar. There's a lot of cool raffles, silent auctions. It's a ton of fun. That is Thursday, November 11th. That's the CCA Pinella's banquet. Definitely check that out. Hopefully
You had
can
me
join
at
us for
food.
that. What?
You had me at food.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a new website where all these events are featured. Josh, let's show them our new website. It's really, really cool. Check it out. We're gonna Google it for you guys. It's CaptainDylanHubbard.com. And excuse the random error messages. We got new internet installed, and it's creating a little bit of an issue. But CaptainDylanHubbard.com. And that brings up the new website that we have built. You shouldn't get the error message.
No, you shouldn't.
But there is an events page, upcoming events. So go to CaptainDylanHubbard.com, click upcoming events, and that will give you the calendar of upcoming events. So you can actually scroll down to November. And there's all the information there on our live show, on the CCA Pinella's banquet. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. CaptainDylanHubbard.com. You can add the events to your Google Calendar, to your iPhone calendar. A great way to kind of stay up to date with what's going on. We're going to be adding our radio shows to this. We're going to be adding all the different information that we have to this site. So CaptainDylanHubbard.com is the newest and latest addition to the Hubbard's Marina online portfolio. We've started a new company. Josh is still playing around with our logo, but we'll have a website for our new company soon. And he's got some cool logos idea.
I think we should
like
probably
your newest
put it to
logo.
a poll.
What?
Put it to a poll. Take our top 3 and
Ooh.
let the community decide.
Okay. Let the peoples decide.
Yeah, you guys will decide.
All right. So
Well, I don't know, actually. That might be a bad
do it on
because,
the supporters group.
The,
On the
you know,
supporters
like
group.
Bodie McBoatface and stuff always
Yeah.
gets like real popular, so we got to be careful with that.
We're going to do a poll for which logo you like best for our new company, the Hubbard's Media. Hubbard's Media Company. Hubbard's Media Creative. HMC. We will let you decide the logo on the supporters group. But I have a favorite, so
I do too.
we're going to kind of put our favorite first.
I'm going to need some
Hopefully
collared
you
shirts embroidered, Dylan, so
I like that.
you can reach out to somebody.
Yeah, it really looks cool for sure. All right, so we got off track. We were talking about your questions. What questions do we have?
We got quite a few of them, actually.
People are saying the stream is locking up. We've got our new fiber internet. We should not have any stream lockups. Did we drop any frames? I don't know how to look at that.
We can just go right here.
He's the expert. No. Fiber
Nothing.
internet is solid.
Nothing.
If you've got stream lockup issues, we can finally say it's your end. Thankfully, it is not on our end. We have been having stream issues, but knock on something hard and knock on some wood and keep our fingers crossed and our toes crossed. We've been having great results with this new dedicated fiber internet service here at our studios. So,
I just got to bring up this question.
what
Do you
question?
see what I'm looking at?
Does Smokey really bathe?
By sticking remoras on his body. I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest with you.
Probably. Someone asked, does Smokey really bathe himself by sticking remoras on his body? I don't think he showers. No. Smokey's a clean guy. But I do like the question. And it's unknown. So I guarantee that's one of our crew members who's drinking right now, who tuned into the live show.
No, because a lot of people don't actually put their name in. They just ask their questions and put their phone number.
I bet that was Dusty.
You think it's Dusty? I'll call Dusty right now. Get him live.
It was one of our other team members, I guarantee it, because they didn't put their name.
Yeah, right.
Smokey.
Oh, you got to go next. We had a bunch more come in.
All right, you drive the bus, dog. Tell me what question to answer next.
Right. Yeah, we got a lot of questions.
Updated Gandy Bridge cleanup. So I guess Tampa Bay Fishing Club was supposed to do a Gandy Bridge cleanup event this past Saturday at 10 a.m. We've been promoting it quite a bit on our Real Animals radio show and through our live show, and unfortunately it got canceled. And I was confused. I reached out to them like, hey, is this still going on? And apparently they canceled it. But now they're trying to get a new date set up. So we're going to make sure it's on and popping, and we'll start promoting that new date again. But, yeah, unfortunately, that did get canceled. But this reminds me, look at that. Look at that fancy new logo right there. Oh, it's gone now. But hopefully you saw it. Gator Gyms is now on board. Shout out to Gator Gyms. They are the newest and latest and greatest sponsor. And this show is now brought to you by Gator Gyms Tackle. If you haven't been over there to Gator Gyms Tackle, you should definitely check it out. It's a really, really cool place. We're going to be holding events there. We're going to be doing some cool stuff going on. And one thing that we're going to be doing coming up soon is if you're a charter captain, we're going to be holding our West Coast charter captains meeting there November 16th. So we no longer have to have our charter captain meetings in our Hubbard's Marina waiting area with people walking around and all that craziness going on and no parking. We're going to have Gator Gyms is going to let us do our events there. Plus, if you're a guide with a Merchant Mariner credential, you get your captain's license, bring it in, you get a discount in the shop. And if you're not a guide, it is the cheapest place around because Jim Bickle, the guy over there, the man with the plan, they buy wholesale pricing at crazy bulk orders. There's literally shipping containers full of tackle, and that's how they keep their prices so low over there at Gator Gym. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. That's 3301 Pinellas Bayway down there by the Skyway, kind of close to Maximo and right there near O'Neill's Marina. So great place to go if you haven't checked it out yet. Crazy good prices, huge selection. They got a full line of our Bull Bay rods and more. So if you haven't checked it out, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. Really, really cool place. And shout out to Gator Gyms. Thank you again for becoming our first title sponsor of our Hubbard's Marina live stream show. So red grouper, I saw that question. When does red grouper reopen? That reopens January 1st. So red grouper is closed through the end of the year. They reopen January 1st. So if you haven't checked that out and looked forward to that, you definitely have that coming up. Red grouper opening January 1st, and we're very, very excited about that. And hopefully going to go out and catch lots of those big old red grouper after January 1st once that season reopens. We've been seeing a lot of those big red grouper out there, but unfortunately having to catch and release them. And once we have that season reopened January 1st, we're going to take our revenge on not only the red grouper, but lane snapper too. So really, really cool. I saw red snapper was closed. Is this true? Absolutely not. You were fooled by the FWC announcement. FWC does not manage federally permitted for-hire charter boats and party boats. We are managed by the federal management body, the Gulf of Mexico Fishery Management Council, through the National Marine Fisheries Management Service. So federal for-hire charter boats and party boats have a red snapper season that opened October 15th and ends end of day November 5th. FWC manages red snapper for state of Florida state waters and federal waters adjacent to the state of Florida waters on the west coast of Florida for private recreational anglers fishing private boats and state permitted charter boats. So we're federally permitted charter boats here at Hubbard's Marina, and our red snapper season continues through end of day November 5th. Don't be fooled. Watch the videos. We'll keep you informed. We had a 30-minute video the other night about how regulations work. If you go to Hubbard's Marina on YouTube, we have a whole playlist called Federal Fisheries Management Issues. If you go to CaptainDylanHubbard.com, there's a whole post about it, and we talk about how federal and state fisheries management works and breaks down. It's a 30-minute video, and it will give you the rundown and breakdown of how that all works. So check it out. Some pretty cool information, if I do say so myself. Josh, what's our next question, buddy? I'm going to the beach fishing Treasure Island later this week. Any suggestions? I'm not a beach fisherman normally. So right now, Treasure Island, I'd be targeting some pompano on the beach. You have a chance for flounder, trout, maybe some snook still. There's a lot of those Jack Crevalles moving up and down the beach. Possibly mackerel, depending on water quality. But I would be fishing the passes. So on Treasure Island, you could fish Blinds Pass if you're at the south end, or you could fish John's Pass if you're at the north end of Treasure Island. If you're fishing from the beach, you want to fish those little gullies. So if you walk out into the surf, you're going to like kind of trip when you're walking directly out away from the beach. Those little tripping areas are little kind of ditches, or I forget the word for them all of a sudden. But basically it's where the waves break. It creates a little highway that runs parallel to the beach. And that's where those fish are cruising through, those predatory fish in between those sandbars, going through those little gullies and hunting for prey like sand fleas, fiddler crabs, shrimp, and bait fish like mud minnows, and definitely a good area. Shrimp is a great option. White bait is a great option. Soft plastics, pompano jigs, all great options. Fishing in those gullies. So when you're fishing the beach, you're not fishing a pass. You want to cast at about a 45 to 60 degree angle away from the beach. Don't cast as far west as you can, as far away from the beach. Don't cast perpendicular to the beach. Cast with the beach. 45 to 60 degree angles. So that way your bait is being presented to those fish cruising the coastline where the bait is hanging out and those fish are actively feeding. If you cast directly west, you're showing your bait to those predatory fish less. You have less of a chance to hook up. So you always want to fish parallel with the beach, not perpendicular to the beach. Will the next weekend 39-hour trip be canceled due to weather? I know other long-range boats that have canceled due to that front. Well, we're not other long-range boats. We're the original and longest running in the entire region. And a little bit of weather doesn't scare us. We've seen that this past weekend, the 44-hour trip. If I was like other long-range boats that just canceled willy-nilly, we would have canceled our 44-hour trip, because last week, 7 days ago, I was telling you guys that the weekend weather doesn't look good. But what happened? It turned into a beautiful weekend. The 44-hour went out there and crushed the fish. It was a great trip, probably one of the best that we've had. So no, we don't cancel trips 7 days in advance based on weather. Absolutely not. I'm not even considering canceling the weekend 39-hour trip at this time, because weather can change dramatically in just the course of 24 to 48 hours, especially for a trip that's 5 days out. You're asking about a trip that's going out this Friday. That's 5 days from now. That might as well be a year from now in the state of Florida weather time. So we like to wait until absolutely last minute possible, because we have a lot of people that come into town that can only go fishing at a certain amount of time. And if I cancel now and the weather gets better, everybody's angry. Everybody loses. Whereas if I wait a little bit, if you call me and be like, hey man, I'm flying into town Tuesday. I talked to a guy today. He's from Kentucky. They're driving in Wednesday morning. So I told him, hey man, I'm going to try to make a decision on this 39-hour trip probably Wednesday night, Thursday morning at the latest. So call me before you come down here. And if you call me Wednesday morning and it's looking like it is right now, if it stays the same as it is right now, you're right. I'll probably have to cancel. But I'm not going to cancel now because it could change. So if you call me Wednesday morning and it looks like it does now, and it looks like I'm going to have to cancel, you can cancel and get a refund, or cancel and transfer to another trip, or you can cancel right now if you don't want to hold on and wait. You can be like the 10, 15 people that canceled off this 44-hour who canceled early and missed out on one of the best trips that we've had in 6 months because you didn't want to wait. And you were scared off by advanced weather forecasts. Don't be scared of advanced weather forecasts, because they can change dramatically. And especially this time of year, weather is impossible to forecast more than 3 days out, 2 to 3 days out. So I don't really put any credibility to weather until we're about 2 to 3 days out. To answer your question, no, we're not going to cancel, but if it stays the same, yes, we would have to cancel. So hurry up and wait to answer your question. Do weather conditions make for choosing different baits? Yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's dirtier, murkier water, it's stirred up, I'm going to go with a smellier, dirtier bait. I mean, I like a nice strip of bonito when that water's murky and stirred up. Threadfin, squid, all great options in dirtier water conditions. Smellier bait is a good idea. When they can't see the bait and they can smell the bait, that's a good idea, you know. Josh, let's check out who's going to win a 5-hour half day. It's time to give away a free trip. Let's see who won a 5-hour half day for 2 guests. 5-hour half day for 2 guests. Let's see who won this $130 value. Edmund Landry from Apollo Beach, South Shore, Tampa Bay. Edmund Landry. Remember, if you're picked as that lucky winner, you do have to text us at that phone number down there within about 5 minutes to claim that free trip. So Edmund Landry, congratulations. Make sure you text us at that phone number within about 5 minutes to claim that free trip. Coming June 16th through 23rd, what options will we have for red snapper during that time? Same as always. So red snapper season for next year should be the same. It should be June 1st through around early to mid-August. I'm going to be pushing for hopefully mid to late August because we haven't been hitting our ACL, haven't been hitting our ACTs, and we got an extended season this year, which isn't going to allow us to hit our ACT, I would guess. So I'm going to be pushing for a longer red snapper season next year, but most likely it will still open June 1st. So as always, we will have our 39-hour trips running Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday during red snapper season on our 12-hour extremes Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So, and our, of course, long-range private charters. Those specialty trip schedules will come out around the first week of December, probably the first, second, or third of December. So keep that in mind. If you want to book a 2022 red snapper trip, they fill up extremely fast. Typically by the second or third day that the calendar is out, most of those stern spots for those red snapper trips are already sold out. Even though the stern is not the best place to fish, unfortunately still is considered the best by many. Very frustrating, but it is what it is. The best spot to fish on the boat is where the most experienced anglers are, and in my opinion, where the least amount of people are. So I would always fish in the bow, forward, of midships on either side, or up in the bow pulpits, especially if the weather is nice. So keep that in mind. The back of the boat is not the best place to fish. Bum, bum, bum. It's a revelation, I know. Something we argue every day, but that is true. All right. What is the next question? What is the minimum age requirement for charters? So private fishing charters, you can bring however old children you want. Private fishing charters, I've literally seen infant children going fishing, little babies, 1, 2, 3, 4-month-old babies out there on private fishing charters. On party boat trips, the 5-hour half day, 10-hour all days don't really have a age requirement or minimum age requirement. However, the specialty trips do. Anything 12, 39, 44 hours, they require or at least ask for 13 years and up on specialty trips. So someone said the back of the boat's the best because it has shade. Absolutely not. The back of the boat is not guaranteed to have shade because guess what? Wind direction determines where the sun is. And guess what? The wind direction and sun direction doesn't line up all the time. Back of the boat does not always have shade, so that's a misconception. Also, someone said, do I wanted to troll on the way out? So that's why I got a stern spot. You don't need a stern spot to troll. You can troll even if you've got a bow spot, because the fishing spots you chose are for bottom fishing. This is a bottom fishing trip. Your spots are for bottom fishing. So when the boat's moving, the people in the stern have first right refusal to troll, but not everybody trolls. So if you're fishing in the bow, you want to troll, get with someone who's fishing in the stern, you can use their spot while the boat's moving. Again, your booked spots are for bottom fishing, not meaning you can block people out of that at all times through the trip. It's only when we're bottom fishing is that your spot. So keep that in mind. You don't need a stern spot to troll. You don't need a stern spot for shade. If anything, the stern spot has more fumes because you get the diesel exhaust going back there. Back of the boat is not the best place to fish. So keep that in mind. Let's see. What other questions do we have? No problem on YouTube. That's awesome. Glad to hear our question or our issues that we've been having have gone away. Always awesome to hear that. Also, the front is the best spot. Leave the back alone. Thank you. Yes, I agree. Oh, they're trying to trick people into that. And then other people are saying, shush, the back of the boat is the best spot because they want you to fish back there so that you leave the bow alone. Look at that. We're having the argument going on in the comments, but it doesn't matter. I can tell people all day, every day that the bow is the best place to fish, and people will still argue over the back. The back will still sell out. We'll have 25 people on the boat, and 20 of them will be in the back quarter of the boat. No matter how long and how hard I push the fact that the back of the boat is not the best place to fish, it's so frustrating. Today, literally this morning, I had 4 regular guests that fish with us often talk to me for 15 minutes about how they're planning to book their spots in the back of the boat for next year. It's like, I really don't care. I really don't. I don't care. If you want to talk to me about fishing tips, what's going on, great. If you want to talk to me about how to get the back of the boat, it's not the best place to fish is what I'm going to answer you, and I'm going to move on. As long as you have water under your feet, you're in a good fishing spot. That's right, Jim. I would put money on the fact that anybody with any experience and a little bit of luck could fish anywhere on the boat and catch the same fish. Trust me. How do you get information on our Regulars Club? You can email me at info@hubbardsmarina.com. Info@hubbardsmarina.com is the best email to... What? What's the face for?
Sorry, I was
Give me a face like...
I'm giving him the thinking face, might be putting a link on the website with some generic information on the Regulars Club.
Yeah, we definitely should eventually.
So that way
we haven't really advertised the Regulars Club because it is kind of a loyalty program. It's more of a word of mouth thing you find out about because you watch the shows and you're invested in learning more, or you're a part of the supporters page and you're going fishing a lot, or you're a really cool person and you go out on the trip and a Regulars Club member is like, this person, this lady, this guy is really cool. I would like to fish with him more. Let's talk to him about the Regulars Club. So it's kind of been this word of mouth.
You're going to have to get a recommendation.
Yeah.
Or a commendation.
It's kind of like the Illuminati,
You don't just join the Freemasons.
Okay? You don't talk about Fight Club. You don't talk about the Regulars Club unless it's someone really chill that you're like,
right? Like, all right, yeah,
it's a pretty cool person. I want to fish with them more.
I could hang out with this person.
Yeah. So that's why we really haven't promoted the Regulars Club ever. And that's why it's not on our website. It's just kind of mentioned in our email newsletter. If you read that, it's mentioned from time to time on the live show. But the Regulars Club is really a way for loyal guests who are fishing often to go fishing more often at a more affordable rate. If you're fishing 10, 15, 20 times a year and you don't mind committing to adhering to our policies and regulations and kind of leading by example and putting your best foot forward and representing Hubbard's Marina as a semi-Regulars Club Hubbard's Marina ambassador. Because basically what really gets my goat is someone joins the Regulars Club and they start fishing all the time and then they're really negative, or they're mean to new customers, or they just act entitled. That reflects badly on everybody because they are known by the crew members, they're known by the captain, they're known by the office staff because they go fishing a lot, and then they get on the boat and they're mean to everybody around them or super negative and they bring everybody down. That's not a good situation because that reflects badly on the company. Everybody's like, oh, these are the people that Hubbard's Marina associates with. So as a Regulars Club member, you're kind of representing the company in a certain way. So there are certain etiquette policies that we take very seriously. And when I started managing the Regulars Club, it was keep everybody happy and just bending over backwards to really make sure everybody was happy and catered to. Nowadays, it's a benefit. You're getting 30, 40, 50% off trips, and it's a privilege. It's not a right. And it's not something you're entitled to. It's something that you pay to be a part of. And you also got to kind of respect it. So you got to adhere to the policies even more because as a Regulars Club member, you go fishing more often. You're kind of expected to know the policies and you're held to a higher standard. And you're also kind of that ambassador. You're telling other people about it. You're fishing a lot. You're having a great time. And we're all working together to make it a great experience together. You're part of the Hubbard's Marina family. And the family is family, you know? You gotta respect the family. So it's a cool program, but that's why we don't promote it. That's why it's not on our website. That's why it's kind of a word-of-mouth thing, because it's not for everybody. And fishing is supposed to be fun and relaxing. And we don't have any time for negativity, for thieves. I banned 4 people today. 4 different people. Negativity, theft, and just overall issues. And I don't have any time for it, and we're blessed to be busier and busier, and I want to continue to improve the customer experience. And the only way to do that, just cut out the issue. If you're going to continue to comment negativity online, what are you going to do when you get out in the boat? If you're going to brag to people how you're stealing GPS numbers, what are you going to do when you get out in the boat? Ain't got no time for it. So yeah, we're all here to have fun, have a good time, and put people on fish and have a memorable experience. And nothing makes me more upset when I have a guest come to me and like, hey, your crew was great, your captain was great, the boat was awesome, we caught fish, but I had a terrible trip because this guy next to me did X, Y, Z. It's like, okay, I sympathize with you that you had a bad experience, but the crew, the captain, the boat, the fishing was all awesome. I don't even have control over the fishing, but you're saying the fishing was awesome too. But the captain, the crew, the boat was awesome. You enjoyed everything about the trip except for the person that you were fishing near, that I had no control over, that I didn't know was going to be like that. It's super frustrating to me as a business owner. So all I can do is make sure that person who caused the problem, if he caused a problem or she caused a problem for multiple people, all I can do is make sure that person never comes back out again. And that's what we're doing now. So cutting them out and hopefully making a better experience for you. Because we're all here to have a good time, memorable experience and positive experience, and work together to bring everybody up and just have an overall good time on the water. I mean, you're out in the boat fishing. What could be so terrible about your life that you got to be mean to other people on the water? It's crazy. Josh, we're running low on time. Let's see what other questions we have.
I kind of been going through and answering some of them, but it's just like,
Josh is answering questions?
Prices on bait and stuff.
I'm just kidding.
Of course I answer
Josh
questions.
knows a lot. He knows a lot.
Just don't ask me about trolling.
Let's see.
There's some, there was a lot about weather. A lot of people still asking about this weekend storm. There was some asking about tomorrow's front.
Tomorrow's front's not going to make it down.
Yeah,
it tries to make it down, but doesn't.
Yeah, and,
fishing and weather is best. Tuesday and Wednesday. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit adverse because you have that rain chance. That front's trying to make it down, but it's not going to be terrible. Definitely the best day to fish is Tuesday and Wednesday.
I troll just online trolling,
He's not good at in-person trolling.
I'm not good at fishing trolling. Trolling you on the internet.
Or fishing in general.
I don't know. I control on this video game I play. It's called Real Fisher 4 or something like that. Yeah, you can download it and see like that.
Too funny. All right. Any other questions?
This would be the last one, I would say.
How does cranking power on a reel relate, or does it to drag? Many reels have slips or spin winding on bigger fish. So reel cranking power does not relate to drag power. You can have a super high drag, like, for example, these new spinning reels. Nothing tells me that you know very little about bottom fishing than when someone... I shouldn't start it like that, but it's honest. It's honesty. I had a guy come to me the other day. He's like, well, I'm a tournament fisherman for cobia, and I catch 90-pound cobia, and I've got a Van Staal Twin Power 9000 100X. I don't even know. He just rattled off a bunch of stuff, and he says, it's got 65 pounds of drag in this spinning reel. That's cute.
Try to lift a cinder block.
That's cute. You can't lift with one arm like you can with two arms. A conventional reel is always better because you're lifting with your whole body instead of one bicep with a spinning reel. Also, a spinning reel is generally 5-to-1 to 6-to-1 gear ratio, and that is what equates to cranking power. Higher gear ratio means higher retrieve, faster retrieve, more line more quickly. But lower gear ratio, the lower the gear ratio, the higher the power. Just like in your car. If you're in first gear, you've got a bunch of torque, a bunch of power band. If you're in high gear, you've got a bunch of speed, but almost no torque.
It's like a mountain bike.
Same thing on a mountain bike, on a car, on anything in the world, except for people who come to me talking about spinning reels. They think it's totally different. It's not. It's not. It's the same. So your spinning reel with 65 pounds of drag is all well and good, but it's high gear ratio. It's not low gear ratio. So you want more cranking power? Get a low speed reel, low gear ratio reel with high drag power. That's the torque. That's the cranking power that you need. That's why these 2-speed reels are so great, because a click of a button, you've got the high-speed reel. Click of a button, you've got the low-speed reel. And you've got high drag power. That's why I love the new Saltiga reels we have in the shop with that big old power handle. All one frame reel, one frame spool. It's just absolutely solid, powerful, plenty of spinning. Yep, see, here we go with the dang.
On that note,
dang spinning reels. You guys are going to make me angry. I'm just kidding. People love spinning reels, and I like spinning reels too. Don't get me wrong. My 4000 Daiwa Saltiga has more drag than my 9-knot conventional reel. But I would never grab that 4000 Saltiga reel over my 9-knot when I'm dropping down a 4-pound bait for a big amberjack. That's just silly. That's silliness. Even though it has more drag, I know it has absolutely a 10th, a 20th, a 100th of the cranking power, because I can't hold that fish with one arm, whereas a conventional reel, I've got my whole body to fight that fish, and if I need to, I can set the rod on the rail. And it's low gear ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really no argument there. There's no discussion. Conventional is better than spinning reels. Lower gear ratio has more power. Period. That's facts. That's physics. End of discussion. Mic drop. Don't forget, guys, we got our supporters after show starting up here after our main show. Our supporters after show will get rocking at 9:50. I have to wake up at 4 a.m. and drive to Alabama for a Gulf of Mexico Fishery Management Council meeting for the next 4 days. I'm going to be sitting in a meeting room from about 8 a.m. to about 7 p.m. And then I'm going to immediately drive back home to be at work at super early time Friday morning. So 4 days of meetings nonstop. And I'm waking up at 4 a.m. and getting back super late at night to wake up at 4 a.m. Friday for our Fox 13 news segment every Friday morning. Then super early Saturday for the Real Animals radio show. So supporters after show is going to be somewhat abbreviated, but as the supporters know, and as you guys are going to find out right now, we've been doing a lot more supporters live streams. I'll make it up to you guys. I've got an 8.5-hour drive to and from Alabama, which I'll be doing supporters live streams, so stay tuned. I'll be in Perdido Beach, Alabama, very close to Orange Beach, right next to the Floribama bar. Better believe I'll check that out, but most likely going to be sitting poolside. My buddy at the Gulf of Mexico Fishery Management Council is an expert at finding hard-to-find alcohol. I've got a bottle of Weller's 12-year coming my way. Very excited about. And Basil Hayden's and Eagle Rare.
None of those will probably make it to
hard
the
to find
studio.
whiskeys and smoking very fine cigars. Sitting by the pool after sitting in a meeting room for 14 hours, boring my mind to death.
Especially with all them
The
abbreviations.
upside of sitting by the pool and drinking fine whiskey is nice. What?
Especially with all them abbreviations.
Yes. A lot of mental workouts with a lot of mental degradation from alcohol and tobacco. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Caffeine, nicotine, and whiskey. 3 favorite vitamins, baby. So, let's see who won our 39-hour fishing trip. And then after that, again, Supporters After Show starts at 9:50. Hopefully, you're a supporter. If you're not a supporter, you can join tonight by going to that link we're going to drop. Definitely check out CaptainDylanHubbard.com if you haven't already. Favorite it, bookmark it, check it out. And we'll be updating that more too. And some more websites coming your way, so stay tuned and join us every Sunday night for this live stream show. Shout out to our good friends over at Gator Gyms again for joining us as our title sponsor. Tonight's show was brought to you by the good people over at Gator Gyms Tackle. If you haven't been there, check them out. Tell them when you stop by, Hubbard's Marina sent you, and thank them for being a title sponsor of the Hubbard's Marina live stream show. Josh, who won our 39-hour trip? Tell us who won the 39-hour, Josh. Randy Friend. What's going on, Randy? Thanks for watching, buddy, from Newark, Ohio. Congratulations, Randy. Don't forget to comment or don't forget to text us your home address to that phone number to claim that free trip. We hope to see you all here soon at Hubbard's Marina, and hopefully we'll see you on the water soon. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. We'll see you next week, 8:30 p.m. right here for another episode.